Hello and welcome to Inderes TV. Wärtsilä published its second quarter result today, and we are at the Wärtsilä's headquarters, and here with me is company CEO Håkan Agnevall. Hi Håkan.
Hello, nice to see you again.
Nice to see you again, and congratulations for a good result.
Thank you very much.
There are a lot of topics to go through, but let's start with the Wärtsilä's performance in the second quarter.
Yes.
How would you summarize it?
Well, I think we are moving strongly on the order intake side. I mean, service order intake up 36%, overall order intake up 25%. Sales also developing in a very good way. So we are moving in the right direction. Our profitability, our profit is up 20%. However, the profit margin is, you could say, stable. It's around 6.1%. And you could expect more, I mean, with the higher sales, but we are still working with the headwinds, and it's about cost inflation and how that affects our order back, some parts of our order backlog. It's about under absorption in our industrial system, and it's also about the phenomena we talked about earlier this year. We said that 2022 is going to be a new build year, which means that we have a relatively, in the mix between new build and service, this year we'll have a higher share of new build, and we know that service is a little bit more profitable than new build. So those are the headwinds. But overall, I would say great to see a strong demand for our products, and we are moving in the right direction. We also provided the guidance that when we look at next quarter, we see demand situation that is better than the same period last time.
Yes, so we can summarize that it's a lot better situation than a year ago, for example.
Yeah, we are up. Yes, we are up. On the order intake, we are up significantly. Absolutely.
Yes. There has been many lockdowns in China this year because of COVID-19. Can you explain a little bit what kind of role China has in Wärtsilä businesses and especially in supply chains?
Okay, I think the China's major role is, of course, it's a hub of marine vessel production, and it's a very important part of the whole shipping industry from that perspective. We are present in China through JVs, so we produce engines and other equipment in China for our Chinese customers. So that is the important aspect. I mean, our factories or our facilities in China, they have been closed during lockdown, but they are now operational and running, so that is good. Another challenge has also been, the COVID has locked down shipyards, and that made it difficult for our service crew to go out there and help our customers when they bring the ships to harbor in China to do maintenance, upgrades, retrofits, etc. So that has been a major challenge. If we look at our own Wärtsilä supply chain, it's a relatively smaller part of the Wärtsilä supply that we source from China. Still.
Okay, that's good to hear. Then go to Europe. Energy markets remains volatile here, and of course inflation is still going on. How do you see the current market situation in energy, and what kind of impact energy prices, such as fuel price and gas prices, do you have in your businesses?
I mean, the gas prices are up significantly, and the whole had really triggered it has brought energy to the top of the political agenda and for us all in a whole new way. And what we see short term, it's of course different countries are looking to source gas from not from Russia, but from other countries, and then it's often to go from pipeline supply to supply of gas through ships, and that drives the demand for LNG carriers and building terminals to receive. So that is very short part of the short-term impact. Short-term impact is also there is a step back to coal, which is of course not good for the climate and for the decarbonization journey. Then in parallel with this, we also see a clear realization that we need to accelerate the decarbonization. And I think these two things are working in parallel, so to say. Now, building out wind and solar, which will be the major sources of renewable power, it's not only about the Paris Agreement and environmental sustainability, it also becomes a topic of national security and sovereignty, quite frankly. So it will accelerate the shift to renewables. And as you know, we are part of that journey, providing the balancing power.
Yes. Are customers ready to make these big decisions?
I think big decisions are being made as we speak around LNG terminals. And I think on the renewable side, there are decisions being made. I think there is also a political discussion, because what is holding back the renewables right now? I would say that there are two major things. One is to create frameworks so the investors know how to channel the money and the rules of the games are set. The other thing is permitting, because everybody wants renewable energy, but not on my backyard. And this is a political process. We need to put the windmills there to generate the energy. And I think this is the process that is going on right now, because we will have to give more permits to build renewable power generation.
Then to inflation, it has accelerated, but perhaps it's a bit mitigating right now. So how cost inflation is taken into account for example, in your orders?
Yes. So we saw inflation last year clearly, but it accelerated clearly in the beginning of this year, triggered by, I would say, further COVID challenges in China, but also by the war. This how we work with it. I mean, of course, we need to increase prices to compensate for the cost inflation. And on the service side, it's pretty immediate, and you do it. On the new build side, you do it on the new tenders, and that's immediate. But of course, you have an order backlog of projects that you have taken in the past, and in that order backlog there are different type of contracts. Some you can negotiate, some you can't, and this is why we say that the inflation has an impact and a headwind in our overall profit margin, and that is related partially to some of the projects in the order backlog.
Are your customers okay with that you increase prices?
Well, I think under current circumstances, everybody's increasing prices. So I think there is an understanding. I'm not saying that it's easy, but there is an understanding.
Yes. A few weeks ago, Wärtsilä's new sustainable technology hub was opened in Vaasa. Could you give a short insight of research and development in Wärtsilä? What is going on at the moment and coming years?
There's a lot going on.
Yes.
I think that's the first message, and it evolves around green energy. It evolves around energy saving solutions. It evolves around hybrid and electric solutions. It evolves around carbon capture, and it evolves around digital solutions.
Yeah.
A lot of areas. But if we zoom in on the fuel, we are already ready for the carbon neutral fuel, for the methanol, the biodiesel, biomethane. You can already buy that. Engines prepared for that. What we are working on now are the zero carbon fuels. So it's ammonia for shipping and hydrogen for land. And this is going on as we speak. We earlier announced that we will have a technical concept for 100% ammonia in 2023. And a technical concept for 100% hydrogen in 2025. And this development is ongoing.
And when can you start selling these engines?
First we need the technical concept. When we see the market is picking up, we will industrialize, and then we will go ahead. So we will be ready for the market. Now, we also make a clear point. We are part of an ecosystem. We, as Wärtsilä, we cannot do this alone. It's the whole ecosystem needs to evolve. The new fuel needs to become available. It needs to be distributed, etc., etc. So it's a complex journey. We are one vital player, but the whole system needs to move. And this is also why we try to be rather proactive and forward-leaning in our communication. If you go back 10, 15 years, it was probably the biggest secret in our company when we're going to launch a certain engine type. You wanted to come to the market and be ahead of everybody. But in this environment, we can bring an engine to the market, but if there is no fuel, we can't sell it. So this is also why we are rather forward-leaning and communicating where we are with our technology and the milestones, because we want to signal to the rest of the ecosystem where we going to be. So the other players can see, well, if there's going to be an engine, there are people interested in building ships. Maybe I can invest in producing the fuel and etc. and get my business case together. So that's the logic.
There are many moving parts.
Yes.
Yes. Final topics. You often mention moving up to the service value ladder, and it's one of key part of your strategy at the moment. Order intake in service was good.
Yes.
What does this really mean that you move up to the service ladder? Can you give concrete examples?
So first of all, what is the service value ladder? And it's a very simple concept. I mean, it's a couple of steps.
Yes.
And the first step is, you could say, spare parts and field service hours. The second step is agreements. It's a kind of maintenance agreement, annual maintenance agreement. Third step is retrofit. You bring in a vessel, you upgrade the engine, or you bring in a hybrid system. And the fourth step is the performance-based. And this is where we make long-term commitments, could be 10 years, and we warrant uptime reliability and also reduction of fuel consumption. And when we talk about moving up the service value ladder, it's basically, bringing customers that are buying spare parts and agreements up all the way to the performance-based. And we also talked about that if you look on the revenue per kilowatt installed, there is, if you're compared to the first step, if you go to the performance-based, the revenue increases with a factor of 2 to 5. So that is moving up the service value ladder. Now, we also have another saying. We have a saying, grow the service value ladder. Because right now what is happening, we are growing each step of the service value ladder. And it's really exciting. That is what is fueling the growth. And one key component in this whole service thinking and logic is digital solutions. We leverage digital solutions, artificial intelligence, data, to stand behind our service offering. On the performance-based, it's very much extracting data and to work with proactively to prevent failures, mistakes from happening. On the first step, on the spare part side, is to work with, digital interaction with our customers that are more transactional. So widening our customer base. So we leverage digital throughout this value ladder.
All right. Thanks for clear answers and have a nice summer, Håkan.
Have a nice summer. Nice to talk to you.
Nice to talk to you.